we attack today's local and national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it.
Good morning, all. Welcome to Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, along with my co-host and producer, Jason Bryce, and once again, my co-host, Marcus Bullock, coming to you on a beautiful Sunday morning. The Sunday morning that I know Jason has been waiting for to get after me. I know he can't wait. Carson Wentz has officially been traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Indianapolis Colts. The Philadelphia Eagles will get 2 draft picks in return, a second and third round pick. The second round pick could become a first round pick depending upon what happens in the success of the Indianapolis Colts. There's a lot to get through. There's a lot to talk to about this trade, the ramifications, what this means for the Eagles, what the legacy of Carson Wentz looks like. But before we get into all of that, Jay, how are you, sir?
Hey, you know what? I'm doing all right. Still corona free, so that's a blessing. Decent week. I'll just say Ali Boombaye. That means I'm back. The last 2 weeks I kind of got stung a little bit by some things, but you know what I'm saying? We absorbed the hit. We did the rope-a-dope. We was against the ropes, and now we back like Ali Boombaye. So we good money. I'm looking forward to a good show. Ready to talk about your boy. You know what I'm saying? I know you're hurting. All week everybody can tell that you've been hurting. You know what I'm saying?
What is it? What is it? I don't know how I've been hurting as much, but
no, it's just you could tell. I mean, listen, our fans out there, they could tell. Listen, you're a Carson. That's okay. It's okay. Just remember what I told you before the show. You know what I mean? James Baldwin says, if I love you, I have to make you conscious to the things that you can't see. And I love you.
I know, listen, and I know that you mean well. And I know that this, like I said, this is a very hard time for me. It is, but and I will get into it because I have a lot of thoughts on the situation, and I still don't know what my final thought on this is. But Marcus, how you doing this morning?
Yes, you do.
I'm doing well, man. All is good. Finally got our first 2 wins of the season this week.
Yes, I heard about that.
So hopefully we got the losing stuff behind us. I'm excited to sit back and watch you two go at it today. I got a question for you guys though. Before I got here, right before I got here, there was a dog that ran past my house, and I live right on Evesham Road, and I felt obligated to try to get it. Would you guys So I'm running across Evesham Road. My wife come a car, she's out there, we're driving, this dog's just sprinting.
What kind of dog?
It was like a white, it was a bigger dog,
okay.
I don't know, But then I guess what bothered me about it is, we finally get it back and the neighbor's outside, and the neighbor's like, oh, well, that's where the dog lives. And then the people at the house are just like, oh, thanks. I'm chasing you dog down Evesham Road.
Right.
Should I just let the dog
No,
go?
I think that, I don't know. I think it all depends if you're an animal lover. I mean, obviously, yeah, I am. I would have gone and done it. It depends. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't have. But not that I don't love animals. I just wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying. No, it's the truth. I mean, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I commend people that do that, though. And on top of that, though, Marcus, I just want to take my hat off and celebrate you because that's that level of leadership. You see a problem and you go after it. You see.
You guys work on this?
Are
you sure?
I'm just saying.
Catfish.
I'm just saying. Listen, you see a problem and you go after it, and that's what leadership does. So kudos to you.
I appreciate that.
Kudos to you.
I probably would have done it too. Obviously, being as we know, rough, and it was, and Carson never got back to me, and so.
No, well,
that hurt.
He'll hit you up while he's in Indy.
You know what? I don't want to be hit up by him because that's like you know what that's gonna be like if you weren't cool in high school and afterwards all of a sudden you got older and this and that, and then the person who you wanted to get attention from didn't give it to you then they want to give it to you later on because now you're better. I don't want it anymore.
No, I understand that, but I'm not buying that. Okay? that sounds good, but listen, you're hurt. I know you're hurt. I don't know why you're hurt though, and that's what I want to kind of get into. I'm not sure why you're hurt because all I'm gonna say is that I think it was Coach Joe or I want to say Coach Ricci. I'm not sure, but I kept going back pondering in my mind who was we having a conversation with that said, listen, you represent the team on the chest, not the player on the back. I don't know if that stands true to you. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest because your man Carson, first of all, listen, see, we going into, you ain't even asked my man how he doing, how's his week been, man. So it's all right, you know.
Yeah, he did. He
got it out the way? Okay, all right. I didn't know.
I said before we get into that, I said, Coach, how you doing?
And he went into his dog store. I didn't know he'd go, okay, all right.
No, he said the guy's got two wins this week.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'm slipping.
So-
That's me. I'm fumbling.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean? But I fumbled now, so I forgot now. So I'm gonna rev it back up. So you go ahead, though.
So here's the thing, and there's a lot of Eagles fans. Like I said to you last week, that it was inevitable at this point that it had to be done. You know it was going to be done. You knew that the Eagles had no choice but to trade Carson. And they were backed into a corner in this situation.
Who backed them into the corner? I remember now.
Carson basically said, demanded this trade and made the Eagles make this happen because he couldn't deal with the pressure. He couldn't deal with the situation. But, and I will go back to saying like this, the Eagles have taken accountability in certain areas, trading off Carson Wentz, firing Doug Peterson, but the problem still is there in Howie Roseman.
No, I see. You know what? Now listen, I'm not going there. See that to me.
But that's relevant. Relevant.
No. Listen, that's perception. That's perception.
It's not perception.
How
because
isn't
everybody
it?
will tell you that until Howie Roseman is gone, this Eagles team is going to struggle.
Listen, if Howie Rosen wasn't there, you don't have none of the fanfare or the celebration of you even being proud to really be an Eagle fan. So let's keep it real. Like, he brought you a chip.
But the demise, everybody has gone away.
Everybody makes mistakes, though.
No.
Everybody has ebbs and flows to everything. Everything in life, yo. But he brought you a chip. The problem with fans is, and you know what? I saw an interesting thing, and I'm going to shift for a minute on Al Horford. We were vilifying Al Horford, wasn't we? We were killing him, knocking him down. And what do we see? What was the real problem with Al Horford? Was it Al Horford being garbage, or he wasn't being coached?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
In this particular
He wasn't
situation,
being coached. Because now you see how the team is playing now. You see what coaching is doing, right? So we don't.
I think it's a horrible. No. Because Al Horford's on this team's not as successful as they are right now.
How can we say that though? When last year he didn't get no coaching. Brett Brown was horrible. He was way past his time. We show loyalty to Brett Brown at our own expense.
Because you said it. What did this team? I don't mean to get off of this, but the team lacks shooting. So if Al Horford's here, that means Seth Curry's not here. So now, and you still have Josh Richardson, things like that. So now the team's just not built the same.
But Brett Brown, we also talked about how Brett Brown didn't kind of want to adjust his coaching. He just automatically wanted to have. It didn't matter whether you was a shooter or not. You're gonna run this system.
No, I agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for years I always said, listen. And I saw a P too. I saw a P at Patrick Brady. Yeah. And he was like, you know what, And he reminded me of that. He was like, you've been saying that for years. Like, listen, it was the coach at Brett Brown.
Of course,
yeah.
It was definitely the coach. There's no question.
So I say that to say, like, it's like sometimes when you a fan and you're real like tied to your team, you're real emotional, you can't sometimes really see the analyticalness of what the real problem is.
Going back to this, at the end of the day, this organization has a top-down problem. It wasn't just Carson Wentz. This team is basically, this upcoming season is a wash. This upcoming season is basically going to be an opportunity for the Eagles to clear cap space, see what they have in Jalen Hurts, and go from there. This is a 2022 for most Eagles fans. 2021 for most that already fans are looking at it and saying this is going to be a trial year. This is our chance to clear space, see what happens. But going back to this Carson Wentz trade, I just look at it at the end of the day. This whole situation, when you have invested in Carson Wentz, you invested the money in Carson Wentz. You then went and drafted Jalen Hurts, and you didn't put the success around Carson. But then, so you had to take that accountability. But right now, the way that Carson Wentz handled this and didn't step up, he also can take blame and should take some blame. I'm very interested to see what happens when he goes to Indianapolis. But at the end of the day, this whole situation, and I don't know if the Eagles are sitting here banking on Jalen Hurts or saying that he's going to be our answer, because I hope that they're not, because he hasn't done anything in the time that he was
give
here.
him a chance, though.
No,
Why
because
can't
I'm
he
not
have a
sitting here
chance,
and give him
though?
a chance when he hasn't shown the ability to
Well,
do
wait a
anything?
minute, yo, listen, Carson
Because
been
what I'm saying is, I hope they are not sitting here hanging their hat on him.
Why
Because
not?
what is
Listen,
no,
listen, if-
because he was 1-3, he completed less than 60% of
the
his
same
passes.
thing that Carson was. They had
No.
almost the same numbers,
No.
the same.
No, he actually
they had the
didn't,
same
because-
numbers that Carson had, same QBR, all that. Come on, I did numbers on this.
Okay.
Give that brother a chance, man.
No, but here's
he
the
should
thing.
have a
You
chance.
can't hang your hat on Jalen Hurts right now.
Damn,
And
you
if
hung it on Carson. You ain't had no problem hanging on, and he was Blast Joe. You ain't had no problem hanging it on him. No
because at
problem.
least
You
he
gave
had Carson had success.
What do you mean? He
Jalen
broke
Hurts.
down when it. Listen,
Carson had
anybody that's a
success.
leader knows. Listen, I gotta be able to depend on you in the moment. I'm not saying Carson didn't have a good pocket of success,
Right.
but when it counted, he was not there, brother.
Here's the thing, though.
Was it? Answer that.
No, he
agree to
wasn't.
that.
He wasn't.
So then, why would you even? How
He
could you
wasn't.
even
He
defend
wasn't.
that?
But at the same time, he wasn't there. But at the same time, we don't win the Super Bowl without Carson
You
Wentz.
don't win it
We
without
don't
you don't win it without Alshon Jeffrey. You don't win it without Torrey
Correct.
Smith. You don't win it without all the other players that help make plays for Carson too. The defensive line, that Philly play. It's a whole lot of reasons why you don't
Philly
win.
has nothing to do with Carson Wentz.
I'm just saying though. I'm trying to tell you that. Listen, you're isolating this one person. Oh, we don't
I'm
win
not
it without
blaming it
him.
on Jalen Hurts.
No.
You're not
I'm not.
getting
No.
that.
Listen, I'm not saying that you blame it. I'm just saying you're isolating this one dude, and you're saying, hey, we don't win the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz. But
Was
damn
are we
it,
discussing Carson Wentz?
you don't win it without
Are
Nick
we-
Foles
are we
either.
discussing why the Eagles traded
But
Carson
I'm not
Wentz?
going to inflate him saying, oh, well, you know what? Because that way it makes it sound like is that, yo, he was a critical piece.
He
Well,
was.
damn, so was.
He absolutely was.
Yo, listen, so was Zach Ertz. So was everybody else.
But here's the thing, though.
So was everybody else, yo.
We're talking about the Eagles trading Carson Wentz. We're talking about them feeling comfortable.
Addition by subtraction. That's what happened. That's what you saw,
But
ladies
here's
and
the thing, though.
gentlemen.
They're doing
Addition by
they're
subtraction.
doing this because they were backed into a corner by Carson Wentz, who acted like a fucking baby. It's part of the language. All that out there. He acted like a baby, and he basically backed the Eagles into a corner to trade him. And honestly,
So how do you? That's my problem. You know he did all this. How do you love him? How do you
No,
celebrate
at the same
him?
time, I don't blame him because at the same
What?
time,
You don't
I
blame,
also don't.
yo,
blame
I don't blame T.O. for doing push-ups in Moorestown because the Eagles wasn't giving him no bread because he went out there and
If
he
you-
played
if
hurt
the
on a
Eagles-
broke
If
ankle.
the Eagles sit here and want to invest in somebody and they aren't doing it, and they
telling
don't
you.
want to invest around him, then I don't blame him. At the same time, you go and if your boss sits here and tells you you're here for the next 10 years or blah 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 blah, then all of a sudden there's somebody brand new right there that they draft when they should have sat there and drafted more help for you. Then you can't sit here and say
Brother,
everything's
I'm
done.
trying to. Okay, go ahead.
I
Come
can't
on,
get
man. Come
behind
on,
that.
man.
Because
Come
listen,
on.
If you're at your job, all right, and you have a contract that's for X amount of years, and they bring in somebody who does the same job as you, right? That's maybe younger or whatever the situation may be. As long as you keep doing your job, you're fine. But if you're like, oh, you brought him in, I'm not going to do my job anymore, you can't do that. So I think that's a cop-out answer of that. When Aaron Rodgers came in, when Brett Favre was there, and Aaron Rodgers is way better than freaking Jalen Hurts. When Brett Favre kept ball, like he just kept playing. I think that happens a lot where guys come in, and the quarterback's just got to keep going. Like, you don't see wide receivers getting upset when they draft another wide receiver. They just got to put up the numbers. You put up the numbers, you get your money. So I see what you're saying, Randy, and I don't disagree. Like, I think everybody is to blame. I don't think you can put it on Carson. I don't think you can put it on Howie. I think everybody's to blame. I think Carson didn't do his job. I think Howie's been bad for since the Super Bowl, basically. And I think I don't understand what the rush was to get rid of Carson. And the only reason I say that, I think if you wait till maybe draft day to do it,
Well-
you get a better package.
Well, I think so too. But here's the thing: at this point, I think that also too was also salary. It was also money that kicked in. It was in March 15th. He got another bonus he kicked in. But the thing is, you're already looking at this coming season as a waste, like I said, and you have dead cap space. But the thing is, and to make this move though, actually, was the smartest move for the Eagles, because now you sit here. You're basically looking at it and saying, for 1 year, you're paying like Jalen Hurts $33 million, whatever it is. Jalen Hurts is back still on his rookie contract next year. You're able to have getting some picks, but it's just sitting here. It's amazing, and I think what irritates Eagles fans the most is that is where we've gone. And that's the thing that bothers me so much. Nobody has anything against Jalen Hurts, but everyone is so frustrated with the fact of where this organization was and where they're at now. And I think any Eagles fan at the end of the day will tell you that's their biggest gripe right now, is that you cannot sit here and do that. So that's the biggest struggle for Eagles fans. Right now, my final thought on Carson Wentz, and not final thought, but my, I guess, legacy or whatnot, or what they think it's going to be, is that Carson's going to be gone and forgotten about. Carson is always going to be just a blip on the radar, and he's going to be like the impromptu. Oh, I got drunk in Vegas and got married one night. So anyway, but with that said, quick commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.